Here we're going to be solving two absolute value equations. One where the absolute value is less than 0, which means it will be a negative number, and also one where the absolute value is equal to 0. And when we're talking about absolute value, remember that absolute value is always positive because it is the distance that a number is from 0. Let's write our first equation. Our equation reads the absolute value of 2x minus 3 is equal to negative 6. If you have an equation where the absolute value is not isolated, always be sure to get it by itself on one side of the equation first. When we look at this equation, we see that the absolute value is equal to negative 6. An absolute value cannot be negative. It's always positive. So even though this seems really simple, there is no solution. So there's no need to go any further with this equation. Let's write our next equation. This reads the absolute value of x plus 2 equals 0. Since our absolute value is already isolated, we can remove the equation from the absolute value. We first want to isolate x, so we need to subtract 2 from both sides. This results with the solution x equals negative 2. Since there's only one number that has an absolute value of 0, when we first write our equation without the absolute value, we only write it one time because we're going to have that one solution. So now let's check and see if our solution checks out. I've written the original equation, and now we want to substitute negative 2 in place of x. Now we work out what's inside the absolute value. Next, we take the absolute value of 0. This is true. 0 is equal to 0. This confirms that x equals negative 2 is the correct solution.